So, in the previous classes, we have explained the first chapter, reproduction in flowering plants, and now we have taken the second chapter, genetics. Genetics is one of the modern biological science. Which flourished in 19th century, and Mendel G.J. Gregor Johann Mendel is called father of genetics. Since he explained the principles of heredity based upon his experiment in the plant Pisum sativum. He explained principles of heredity. And what is the definition for genetics? Genetics is a branch of biological science which deals with the inheritance of characters or mechanism of inheritance of character from one generation to another generation. So, this is a branch deals with mechanism of transmission. Of characters from parents to offsprings. And the word genetics was coined by Bateson in the year 1906. And there are 4 branches in genetics. One is transmission genetics, second is molecular genetics, population genetics, and quantitative genetics. See, transmission genetics, this is the genetics which deals with transmission of character from parents to offsprings. This was proposed by Mendel based on his experiments, and that is also called Mendelism. And the molecular genetics, this deals with structure and function, structure and function of genes. And the population genetics deals with the determination of characters of a group of individuals by a few genes. And quantitative genetics, this deals with determination of characters determination of characters by of a group of individuals by many genes. The difference is few genes and here many genes simultaneously. So, these are the 4 branches of genetics. This is just an introduction. We need not go in detail about all this, and we are dealing with all the 4 in different topics. Heredity and variation. What is heredity? Characters are transmitted from parents to offsprings. This process of transfer of character from parents to offspring is called heredity. Then what is variation? These terminologies are very, very important in genetics. What is variation? In variation, we have 2 types. One is the discontinuous variation, another one is continuous variation. So, first let us know what is variation. So, there is an individual, there is a line or anything else, or a tamarind plant, mango plant, anything else. If you see the offspring, from the parents offsprings are produced. Though the offsprings are produced from the parents, they are not alike. They are not alike 100%. There is a tendency of the offsprings to differ with the parents slightly. This tendency of the offspring to differ from the parents slightly is called variation. Variation is very, very important process that helps for evolution. However, these variations are categorized into discontinuous variation and continuous variation. What is discontinuous variation? See, in height of the pea plant, see the characters are controlled by 2 alleles, capital T and small t. This stands for tallness, this stands for dwarfness. See, when an offspring is produced from a tall or dwarf plant, here the difference between tall plant and dwarf plant is very markable. And this can be demarcated very clearly. There is no intermediates in between the tall and the dwarf offsprings. If the parent is tall and the offspring may be dwarf due to say various reason, see the differences. The difference is very clear. So, this is called a discontinuous variation. There is no continuity in between tallness and dwarfness. Such a character determination is found in the discontinuous variation, and this is not altered by environmental changes. Environment does not play any role in the discontinuous variation. So, example for this are style length of primula, and in Pisum sativum, as I said here, Pisum sativum, tall and dwarf. characters in the plant. And continuous variation, this is also called cumulative or quantitative variation. Here this is also called polygenic inheritance. Polygenic inheritance. This is also called polygenic inheritance. Example for continuous variations are skin color. In human being, skin color in human being is the very best example. So, this is controlled by 3 pairs of alleles, capital A, small a, capital B, small b, capital C, small c. All these 3 pairs of gene play a vital role in the determination of character from white to black skin color. If all these 4 genes, if only one gene is dominant, there will be melanin deposit will be very less. If 2 genes are dominating, more melanin deposition. 3 genes are dominating, furthermore. If all 6 genes are dominating, the skin color will be black. Melanin deposit will be more. So, if all are recessive, A, B, small b, small b, small c, this will be of course albino without any characters, without any pigmentation at all. So, in this way, quantitatively the number of dominant gene determine the color of the skin. So, this is called quantitative or continuous variation or quantitative variation. So, all the genes are playing vital role, not one. And you can see from the black to white, there may be many intermediate colors, brown like that. And so, this is called continuous. From this end to that end, this is the beginning state, this is the ending state in the skin color, this is white, this is black. In the middle, there are so many intermediate colors, that is why it is called continuous variation. This is also an environmental changes or external stimuli, environment has also plays certain role in the continuous variation. Effects and benefits of variation. So, variation helps the plant to struggle for existence. And another benefit is adaptation. Variation gives a plant a wonderful quality called adaptation. Due to adaptation, there will be natural selection. See, struggle for existence and survival of the fittest, as Darwin stated, variation gives strength for an individual to struggle and to live for existence or struggle for living. According to the environment, there will be environmental changes continuously. If variation does not occur in the genes, the organism will not survive. And as a result of which they get adaptation. What is adaptation? When after the struggle, there will be change in the genetical setup, and so the individual or the organism get adaptation according to the existing environment. And where there is an adaptation, the individual will be selected naturally, and this will be an organism successful, the organism which is successful in the new environment. So, naturally these individuals are selected, otherwise they will perish or die. Fourth, because of variations, the breeders, plant breeders, produce new varieties. new varieties with high resistance, high yield, resistance to disease and drought, etc. And fifth point, variation becomes a tool for evolution. See, in what way variation becomes a tool for evolution? See, if there is an individual, a next individual, next individual, next individual, next generation, continuously there will be a discontinuous variation between the generations. Ultimately, when you see 10 generation, after 10 generation, the difference between the first generation and 10th generation will be more. So, which means that a new organism has evolved because of the variation. So, variation helps the plant for evolution, or it becomes or serves as a tool for evolution. Mendelism. What is Mendelism? The principles of genetics or heredity formulated by Mendel is called Mendelism. So, his contribution in general, Mendel's contribution to genetics is called Mendelism, and as I said, he is also called father of genetics. Why? Because his principles of heredity give basics to modern genetics. Number one. Number two, the hereditary rules proposed by Mendel is not disproved by anybody else even today. He is regarded as the pioneer in the field of genetics, and so he is called father of genetics. And we will see some biographical details about Mendel. G. J. Mendel, Georg Johann Mendel, who is called the father of genetics, has explained many unraveled principles of genetics during his time. And so he is crowned as father of genetics. And he was born on 22nd July 1822 in Czechoslovakia, now in Austria. He actually his birthplace is Heizendorf in Czechoslovakia. Heizendorf, Czechoslovakia, and he had his education. After school education, he went to University of Vienna University, where he studied botany, physics with mathematics. See, after his university studies are over, he returned to his native place, that is in Brunn, and he joined as a teacher in the year 1849 in the monastery at Brunn. So he was working as he got an opportunity of working as a teacher in the monastery at Brunn, and after that, from the year 1856 to 1863 for 8 years. He was doing his famous hybridization experiment. Hybridization experiments in Pisum sativa. Very important years of experiment, and he, based on the experiments, he proposed certain laws, and they are called Mendelism or principles of heredity. Mendelism or principles of heredity, and he selected 7 pairs of contrasting characters in Pisum sativum, and based on all the results he came to a generalization. On the basis of his generalization he proposed the principles of heredity. They are called, nowadays they are called principles of Mendel's principles on heredity. And now, after this, he produced and his work was named as Experiments his 8 years work was known as Experiments on Plant Hybrids. This was published in 1866 by the Natural History Society. Natural History Society at Brunn. In the annual proceedings of Natural History Society at Brunn, his experiment on plant hybrids or plant hybridization was published. And he died, Mendel died in the year 1884. See the publication of his work, 1866, and that was his experiments were performed up for 8 years, 63 and 66 it was published. And after 1866, by the time when it was published, no one in the world could understand what Mendel stated about heredity, variation, and his principles, etc. And he was left in poverty and he died in the year 1884. See the gap, years of gap. In those years he was in poverty, as I said, and he was, by that time he was not regarded as the father of genetics. The great work was not recognized till the year 1900. So the gap between 1866 to 1900, it was left unnoticed. But afterwards, 3 scientists, namely Hugo de Vries, Karl Kahns, and Semark, Karl Kahns, and the third, three people, Hugo de Vries of Holland, Karl Kahns of Germany, and Semark of Austria, independently worked on Mendel's work again and reproved that what Mendel stated in his book Experiments on Plant Hybridization, the year 1866, are all correct. So they said they reproved Mendel's work, and by that time the importance of Mendel's work was recognized and he was regarded as, or he was recognized as, father of genetics. Mendel was successful because he applied statistics, mathematics, the branch idea of statistics, mathematics are all in biology to formulate the principles. Second, his work was well planned and executed. And third, he maintained complete records of his work. He took Paisum Sativum. In Paisum Sativum, seven pairs of characters are there. They were in 7 separate chromosomes. So, it was easy to analyze and easy to make breeds. And fifth point, and it was easy to see Paisum sativum. Paisum sativum is usually a self pollinating plant. Self pollinating plant. So, using that aspect, he made self crosses, self pollination, self crosses, pollinations and cross pollination whenever he required. So, that this nature of the plant help him to do self pollination and cross pollination by the time when he requires. And the sixth point would say that Paisum sativum is an annual plant. So, we can make many generations easily, and flowers are larger, and so emasculation is easy. We will talk about the emasculation afterwards. Emasculation is easier. And he did actually, he made it was annual plant, many generations, you see, that it is enough. So, these are the reasons why Mendel was successful. He was luckier enough to select a plant, Paisum sativum. Since Paisum sativum becomes an annual plant, and he could do experiment easily season after season, and many generations can be experimented in a short period of time. That is the important thing. And actually he experimented 24,034 plants before he published his work Experiment on Plant Hybridization. He made researches hybridization experiments in 24,034 plants, and so his records were very clear.